More big tech companies are pushing their employees to come back to the office. Zoom, which obviously is a very crucial tool during the pandemic, now canceling its meeting-free days and also mandating employees to be back in the office twice a week. Both Amazon and Google have even started tracking some of their employee badge swipes at buildings to check whether or not their employees are coming back to the office. Now, it comes as the recent data from Castle Systems here showing that offices were at 50% capacity or less last month. Here to discuss all of this, we want to bring in Vijay Pereira, a professor in human capital management at the NEOMA school, a business school in France. Vijay, it's great to see you. So just first, I guess your perspective, just from a management standpoint, the approach in bringing people back to the office, also this approach that we've seen from management, first getting rid of meetings, now a company like Zoom getting rid of the days that they had meeting free. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, our research 2 years ago showed that it was, very efficient both for the organization, the management, as well as for the employee or manager to have meeting-free days because it frees up your time. It gives you time to do what you do best, train for that, during the periods, and also I think to come back in a meeting well-equipped. But this story really about pulling it back makes little sense. But there again, it's politics, it's control that the management wants, and perhaps that's the reason why.
So much of this, it feels like, comes down to productivity. And I'm thinking back to conversations that existed during the pandemic where so many of these companies said, look, even though our employees are all working remotely, they are equally productive. What's changed in that assessment?
I don't think much has changed really, but really, again, why would one want employees and managers back in? Perhaps, my colleague Ben Laker wrote in a Forbes article recently. That is perhaps that human touch, but still it doesn't make sense because 1 day a week is very good because that's 20% of an employee's time in a 5-day week. 1 day, no meetings is 20% of an employee's time where he or she has complete control and autonomy to do what he or she wants to do. It also prepares you better, as I said before. So really, at least 1 day, the very surprising why that 1 day in Zoom was called back.
Vijay, is there a happy medium somewhere? And I guess where does that lie as managers, as leaders are trying to figure out what exactly the meeting to no meeting ratio should look like?
Yeah, our research shows that a maximum of 3 no working days in a week, a maximum. So anything between 1 to 3 is just perfect. More than 3, of course, it's pushing it, a lot. So our research shows that 76 companies, 25,000 employees, 350 senior management we interviewed showed that the 1 to 3 days a week is the optimum, the best, really, that one can say you should have no meetings. But 1 day is just perfect.
I hope a lot of our bosses are watching this, by the way, Vijay, because Shana, as you know, there are a lot of meetings here. We're no different than other offices as well. But I want to get back to this conversation about bringing workers back to the office. I mean, we talked about Amazon in the intro to you, saying they're requiring staff come back to the office at least 3 days a week. They're tracking the badges. It feels like we're kind of at this inflection point where employees and companies have to decide, what is that office going to look like? And are we willing, if you're the employer, to lose some of these employees because we just want to bring back the office culture that existed before? How does this all end?
Yeah, I mean, how many organizations across the world, including Zoom, have actually made a cost-benefit analysis to see, okay, if we keep this, we lose. If we get rid of it, we gain. I don't think decisions are made on these bases, and that's the problem. And so unhappy employees will probably produce less, be less efficient, or may leave, or may come into the office and not, the classic case of presenteeism. You're present, but are not efficient.
All right, we'll see where things go. It still feels like we're in this transition period in offices and companies and employees still trying to figure things out. Vijay Pereira, good to talk to you today. Appreciate the time.